everyone and welcome back to my channel. So you wanna learn how to draw a head. In this video, I'll show you how to simplify it, but also how to make it look good. Just grab your snacks and your beverages and let's jump right into it. So, how do you even start with something this freaking complicated? I mean, like, look at this guy. Like, what is this? I don't wanna learn all of that. And here's how you do it. There's 3 important parts to drawing. In fact, you can just learn anything like this. Anything you're trying to learn to draw, you can learn with these steps. Number 1 will be the references that you are using. And these are very important. It doesn't matter if it's from your head, like Pinterest, like real life, I don't care. But references are important. Number 2, the method that you are using. Whether it's like Loomis or Asaro or just winging it, do whatever you want, but learn how to simplify the face in a way that makes sense to you. Just practice simplifying faces. And number 3, the most important, making it look good. You can have the first 2 steps, but if you just draw them, they'll look bad, and then it doesn't matter. So you need to learn how to make something look good. But Makki, everyone always just says use references. I don't know how to use a reference. Like, what reference should I take? What should I do? Well, I'm glad you asked, because just hearing use references is the most overused advice I've ever heard, and no one ever explains it. I don't get it. Now, I know you want to just draw your pretty Pinterest girls, and we'll get to that, but you need to know first what is a good and what is a bad reference. And I'm gonna give you examples, okay? Like, I'm gonna scratch your back. When you just go on Pinterest and you enter in portrait, which is exactly what I did, you get all of these references, and these are gorgeous. All of these are beautiful references, and you probably even drew some of these. Like, I feel like I've seen her before. I've seen this one. I think that was AI probably. And you might just pick the one you like the most. Like, this one's pretty interesting, and try to draw it. But especially if you're starting out, references like these won't help you. It's too smooth. And of course, you can use any reference. But these types of references are so hard to visualize unless you already know all of the anatomy and shapes and whatever. So what beginners usually do when they're trying to learn these shapes is take a reference like this, we go like that, and then we'll just go and outline her chin. And here's the nose. Okay, I'm not doing the best job. I'm trying to do this quick. Here's whatever this is. Here are the eyes. And I'm gonna spend like 5 hours on the eyes, of course. Here's the eyebrows. Can't forget the lips. And this is what usually happens, okay? Now I remove this reference. And I'm left like this. And of course I did do kind of a bad job because I'm rushing. But I'm sure you've seen many drawings like this with just some like hair. And of course these aren't bad. I'm not saying anyone's art is bad. But there's an easier way to improve than just bashing your head against the wall over and over again. And one of the things that help is using a good reference. Now, both of these are very, very smooth, okay? Very aesthetic, if I could say that. And they won't help you to learn how to draw a face. They'll help you when you already know how to do that. They'll help you with composition. They'll help you with making things look good. They won't help you with learning the face. This one right here, the reason I picked it out is because it's a bit better. It's still hard. I don't recommend you starting out with a reference like this, but you can at least see some shadows. You can at least see her face shape. So stuff like this isn't bad. But the references I actually recommend are stuff like this. I mean, look at this. I can see everything. First of all, I have all the angles and like, shout out. But if I look at, let's say this one for example, because everyone likes the 3rd quarter view. If I look at her face, I can see that the sun is coming from here, okay? And I can see all of the shapes. Look at the eyebrow ridge here. Look at how it cuts into this. Look at the cheekbone. It goes to the mouth. Here's the chin. Look at this shape. There's a nose shadow, okay? When I look at the hard lighting reference, I can tell what's happening. Like, I can actually see her features. And the way, because this one has like so many turns, I can see what's going on. Like, look at this one is like towards me, these like shapes. And as they turn, they're changing the light, like this one's like here now, versus on this side where it's like light. When you have such a hardly lit reference, you can actually tell where the shadows are supposed to go. And you don't have to like draw this exact thing, but this will help you understand where the shadows usually are. And the turnarounds help you figure out why they look like that. And when you get better, you can go and do this type of stuff. Just don't start with it. And like, of course, like, you can use any reference, but like, just using a strongly lit one will help you to start visualizing the shapes, with visualizing the planes of the head and like where everything is. And once you can see the shapes and apply them, you can move on to a reference like this. And then even better, you can do none. Because like I can see the shapes here. This is the nose, blah blah. This is the mask. Like once you learn the shapes, you can do any reference. And it won't matter to you because you'll know what's happening. And then you can shade it because you know what's happening. And like I'm trying to go fast, so ignore that. And if you're struggling with these references, like the human ones I mean, learn from artists. If I don't know how to draw something, I look at how other people draw it. And they just do the good old yoink and twist. I mean, this is the like final step we'll be doing. But if you like how someone draws something, implement that. Learn from others. It will help you. So, now that you know what references to use, or if you're just drawing it, let's look at how to actually draw it. Now I learned this like method thanks to a random TikTok I found, as you do, and it's called the Loomis method. However, I mix a bit of howtodrawahead and some others in it. That's just the way I learned it. I never actually learned specifically the Loomis method. Now, usually, if you're an artist, you'll start with something like this, okay? Just a circle. And I'm not here to tell you circles are bad, or like use just only boxes, or never do this, never do that. But this circle, not good. Like this is not going to help you. It might help you with figuring out where the stuff is on the page. It won't really help you to draw ahead. Like you might as well just start with this. Like this will help you more than the actual circle, and it might even be easier to draw. So, what you want to do is you can start with a circle, okay? It's very important to understand what these lines actually are though. You have to understand that there's volume there. We cut off parts of the circle, okay? And this is now our forehead. This part right here. Very important tip. Usually, we can get Bob out. Usually, the face has 3 parts. It's forehead, to the nose, to the chin. And usually these are the same size. Now, you can like mess around with these, and that will change how your character looks, and you should mess around. I'll like try to show you later. But this is the standard. Same as the like one eye between, and the bottom of nose, top of eyes for the ears, the mouth line, but none of these really apply when in perspective and etc. So, we cut off the side, we have our eyebrow line, we have the ear line, which is just in the middle of this side circle, okay, the cut off circle. We have this and this, and what we do now is 3 little magical lines, okay, watch this. We go to the forehead, we go back for the eyes, and then we go down. And that's all you need. You need to know how to draw this little line from any angle. I'll draw it again. We go from the top of the circle, we cut right back, and then we go down to the chin. Now, if you, let me find the reference. If you look at the head, what we are actually doing here is taking this circle, let me go grab the red on it. It's taking the circle, cutting it off for this plane, and these are the eyebrows, you can see, boom, boom, boom. And then we are doing this plane, and then merging all of these down. And you can see that you can draw this from any angle. And if you learn this, that's all you need, baby. That's all you need. Look at this. This is the side. Boom, boom, boom. This one. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Just 3 little squiggles. Even, I'll have a photo like this here. Even if it's from the back. Okay, let's say you're looking at the character from the back. Boom, we cut it off. They're looking that way. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. There you go. There's your head. And the ears like that, and boom. Knowing these is all you actually need. Knowing these shapes. And you can learn the Loomis method, this is pretty much it. You can learn the arttutorial, but the more you simplify it for yourself, the better, okay? We go like this from the eyes. Boom. And you have to like keep in mind, wherever you want to put your mouth is where the chin should be. If you like have your mouth from the side, that's where your chin is, because that's where it's opening up, okay? So you can just keep in mind these like little tricks, and keep in mind, we can even do it on Bob, okay? Keep in mind boom, 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 and that's all you need. And you can like, you don't have to trust the reference 100%, you can do what you want if something looks off. And the nose will be at the bottom of this, because again, we said, to the eyebrow, to the forehead, to the chin is about the same. Corners of the mouth will be probably touching this line. Boom. Now the eyes, I'm sure you can draw eyes, like every artist focuses on eyes. These are the planes, he's looking a bit crazy, that's okay. The ear we said was here. This is the plane for the nose. And honestly, that's probably as much as you need. We'll first do like a straight on. We have the circle, you can see the circle. From this side, when you cut it off, it will look like lines, because when you turn the circle around, it's a plane. I think you'll get that. This is our eyebrow line, this is our nose line, the mouth is like the chin is somewhere here. And now we go boom with the circle, back, down, like this, and then boom, down like this. Boom with the circle, back down for the eyes, and then boom like this for the chin. We go there for the eyebrows. The mouth is somewhere in between the nose and the chin, depending on what you want. I usually just do the middle, which is where we want the jawline to be. And we have the nose. This is the nose bridge. The nose is a bit complicated because it has many like smaller planes, which you can look at the arttutorial and stuff. But just these like 2 triangles will be enough for now. I guess it's 3, the bottom one. We connect our little thingy things. We have the eyes. This looks horrible. We have the eyes, 1 eye apart. And these are the shapes. I can draw better than this, but that's okay. Let's do a side one. So because we're looking at it from this side, we cut, we follow, let me take a look again. We follow the top of the circle for the forehead, we cut back, and then we go down. We have the ear here, it will be in the middle. We have the chin, this is the nose, boom, boom. And what you can do for profiles is just follow this line again. Boom, boom. And there you go. You can again look at this, this is where this will be. And since the eyes are just this, you can just imagine when they turn. This one is going here, since it's turning. And then you get this with this. Okay. So this is your side shapes. And now what you can do with these is you can go any way you want. So if I want him to look up there, boom, cut. I'll need to cut this side. And then go up, back, down. Circle, back, and down. And you'll need to get used to the proportions a bit. If I want him to look there, like away from me, I cut here. I go boom, boom, boom. The other side will be invisible, but we can do it as well, just to understand it better. We have the circle here, boom. The ear, boom. The jawline. We follow the head. And then for the neck, you should probably know a bit of anatomy, but that's not important for now. Now, the problem when you draw just like this is this looks like shit. And I can agree with that. I can see that. And this is why we have step 3, okay? This is why we have step 3, okay? Making it actually look good. Because if you just draw the underlying structure, it won't. And that works for every method. If you just draw the structure, it will look dumb. Because we can't see all of this. There's no point in every time, going, oh yes, I'm gonna draw this first, I'm gonna draw this first, I need to draw all the underlining stuff. What helps is actually simplifying this. And when you actually start drawing, you won't even be doing all of these shapes that I just showed you. When you actually learn all of these shapes and which way what goes, where something is, like the structure and everything, you won't even be drawing them, okay? And you shouldn't. The point of this is so you learn where everything goes. Now, the important part is to not get stuck in this regular face, okay? This is where I see a lot of people like fuck up. Not even in a method per se, just in general. They have one particular face they like drawing, and I do this too. And that's the only face they draw when they're like on autopilot. When there's so many faces you can draw. And that's a bit of the problem with like the aesthetic Pinterest girls. Because just the way that social beauty standards work, they're all morphing to have the same face. And the simpler you go and the smoother you go, it will be harder to mess around with these shapes. So I implore you to just practice, like make yourself a base, just like this one. Make yourself a base and practice making this face look different. So let's see, like for example, maybe I'll give him smaller eyes, okay? Maybe I'll give him a wider nose. That's fun. Maybe I'll give him nice luscious lips. Maybe he has a stronger, like wider jaw. Maybe a stronger neck for the wider jaw. And maybe he has like further apart eyebrows. And just knowing where these shapes are helps you then mess around with the shapes. Imagine this is like your Sims maker. Oh, I drew it up. Never mind. Imagine this is like your Sims maker. The moment you know what all of the different like categories are, you're more free to make changes. Like you can't make changes to something that you don't even know exists. Here's like an upset. Let's make him like rounder, just in general. Sure. But the moment you know where these planes are, it will help you just mess around with them. And then you can even experiment. I wasn't like even taking that into consideration. You can make the forehead smaller to like make him look younger. You can make the eyes bigger. A common thing that happens for anime is the forehead is huge. And then there's like eyes. And this forehead goes like all the way to here. And the eyes are like this. Okay? The eyebrows are here. You can't really see it. There's a little nose here. And then there's a little mouth. And then that's your anime girl. Like look at the size of the forehead. Because the bigger the forehead, like it makes you look younger. And you can just mess around with these shapes until you get something you like. And you can just study other styles and try out things to make it have the proportions you want it to have. So, you want to like find good references for different faces, for different angles, for like sharp shadows so you can actually see the planes of the head. You want to learn the planes, the simplified form. This little line will save you so much trouble. I want to draw a face from this angle. I have my little circle that everyone does for the eyes. I cut the circle and I go top of the circle, back, down. Even here, this is our top of the circle. Top of the circle, back, down. Top of the circle, back, down. Top of the circle, back, down. I mean, it's more like here, but you get it. And if you learn this little shape, it will help you just figure out how to draw from any angle. This is a very good example of studying this. And even in this example, you can see this was that little cut circle. And we went boom, boom, and boom. Here's a circle, boom, boom, boom. There's a bit more here, but like, okay, because this artist simplifies both of these into two, while I just simplified them into one. So you can see top, back, down, top, back, down, top, back, down, top, back, down. And if you can flip around any shape, let's say this is a shape. If you can imagine it in perspective, if you can draw the perspective of the shape, then you can draw these shapes in any angle as well. And that's what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to simplify Bob over here into shapes that we can actually imagine. We have the eyes, we have this like front plane with the nose, we have the cheeks, the chin is here, the mouth is there, this will be the bottom of the nose. What we're actually trying to learn is how to simplify what we see. The ears are too big, but like, forgive me. Now, the problem with all of these is they look like shit. And what we actually want to learn is how to make what we draw look good. Like, learning anatomy and learning all these methods and everything will help you, of course, it will help you. But for me, for a long time, it just made my art look worse. Because I was so focused on like drawing the right muscles and doing the right angle, and that it just looked bad because it was so constructive. We're not trying to learn how to draw anatomy books, we just want to draw. So what you need to practice is how to make something look good, how to make it look aesthetic. Now, I don't know you. I don't know what your art looks like or anything. I don't even know if you draw. But if you do draw, every time you draw, this is what you're doing. You're trying to make something look good. So what I want you to do, and what I did as well, is I want you to gather your art and gather your favorite artist's art. Like, don't have just one unless you're doing a specific study, but also don't take like 20,000, you'll burn out. 3 to 4 is like good, maybe even 2, okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. This is like practice. What I want you to do is figure out why the hell do you like it so much? And don't be going, oh, it's just pretty, oh, they draw well. No. Analyze that shit. Do they draw the nose? How detailed is the nose? How big are the eyes? How simple is it? What style is it even? What are the proportions? How do they draw the highlights? How do they do hair? Analyze everything you like about this artist. What shapes do they use? Like, why does it look good to you? Because we all have different tastes. And now from each artist, like, note that down. And remember what you like and what you don't like. That's maybe even more important, because it's way easier to know what we don't like. Okay, like, we are haters by nature. One of my favorite things made is puparia. Puparia, I don't know how you say it. Puparia. I love that it's still like anime-ish, that it's relatively simple looking, but still like so full of textures and colors and shapes, and I love the noses. Like, personally, I can't not draw the nose. Like, I love looking at the anime, small mouth, small nose, big eyes, but I can't do it. It never looks right when I draw it. It doesn't feel like I draw it when I draw it like that. I have one I tried. Yeah, look at this. I tried doing anime, and even then I can't not draw the nose. Let's not get flagged for this. You can just... Sometimes it's art style, sometimes it's lack of skill. But you know what you like. And I can't just not draw the nose. But I also still like the anime-ish vibe. And just like giving them a big forehead and the nose doesn't look good when I do it. And in Puparia, I love how they do noses. And what I want you to do is find an art style you love and break it down. I can show you the examples I did of Puparia characters for reference. So, I went in, I already know the planes of the head, and I tried to see the structure underneath these. What are the proportions? Why does it look good? Why does it work? For example, I learned the way they do noses. They do little shapes for the nostrils, and they simplify the planes like this, because this has like 10 planes. Let me just clean this up since I'm hurrying. And this is how they simplify the nose. They just do this little like heart shape. They do a little boom boom, and that's it. And this now looks so simple, and I can actually use it to shade, because I won't be drawing all of this when I'm actually like shading and stuff. I'll be drawing this. Like, you can see they have a little nostril action. They do have a little of like the side, a little bit of the nose bridge. But what's actually important is when I then color it, let's just do an example. When I then start coloring, this isn't just a flat image to me, but I can actually see the planes that I need to shade. And I can actually tell what they are. Like, I know there should be shadow there. I know this will probably be lighter because it's looking up. And this is what we actually want to learn. Not just how to draw it. We want to learn how to draw it so that it looks good. I also learned the way their eyes are. They, to me, looked like very anime eyes when I was watching. But then when I actually look at them, they truly are just simplified. Look at these shapes. That's all there is to it. Like, you're telling me I could have just drawn that, and that's my eye instead of trying to do all of this? God. And I also noticed their proportions are actually the same. The portrait could be bigger probably. But to me, the proportions look the same as for like Bob. And these are exactly like the types of things you want to look for when doing studies. You want to see what kind of structure they're using for the shapes. You want to see where they put things. Like, as you can see, this is our middle. You want to see where everything is. And I left this one untouched so I can show you how, like, what the process actually is. Basically, your goal is to get to the finished product of this drawing without actually tracing it, but understanding it. So when I'm studying, when I'm trying to break something down, I try to get to the point where I can draw it, if that makes sense. I'm starting from zero as if the drawing isn't there. So for example, let's say this is where our circle was, and we moved it to look at here. We cut it right there, and now, let me just make it a little lighter. And now we went forehead, back, chin. And that's all you need. You need a basic understanding of how you want to simplify it, which is whichever method looks good to you, like whichever is easiest. And then you want to see what your favorite artists do, how they do it, without of course just blatantly copying them. And that's how you can learn anything. Probably not even just art. I mean, look at this structure. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And you can see here, if this was, since the hair is coming from there, in this drawing, the forehead is pretty similar to all the other ones. Even though usually for anime, the forehead will be much bigger. And now my, like, favorite part, I'll zoom in. Look at the eyes. The eyes are actually just like a weird trapeze thing. I don't know how to say it in English. Like these shapes. Look at this. This is the nose bridge. This is the nose. And what you want to know is the structure underneath. Like these are now connected. As you can see, it all just connects. It's like you're making like a mask for 3D. And through doing it like this, I can actually learn what sort of things they do for their drawing. Let me just see what it looks like. So yeah, look, this is the base underneath. And if I just drew this base alone, it wouldn't look good. What you actually need to pay attention to is knowing where the planes are, and then just picking which ones you want to draw. Maybe you don't like drawing noses, unlike me. Maybe you just want nothing there. Ray has a little of that. But you want to know the underlying structure, and then you want to learn how to ignore it, essentially. Look at that. Boom, for the eye. This is the little, like, thing they do. I need to zoom out, this is too close. This is the cheek. Their chins are very weird. I don't think I like the chins, which is okay. And this is what the underlining looks like. And this looks crazy when I look at it just like this. But she looks amazing. And this is exactly why I need to do more of these. But yeah, you get it. Same thing goes for more cartoony styles. Just because it's cartoony doesn't mean it doesn't have shape. Look at this Ray, for example. These are what the planes of the head look like on Ray's art. You can see the cheek. We did the same thing. We went boom, 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 and boom. Now this one is a bit more exaggerated because the way she does the cheek is very exaggerated. But see, she doesn't draw a nose. She does have the nose bridge though, which implies nose. But you can do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of it. You can apply this technique to whatever kind of style you want. And it will still work. Let me show you this one. look at how simple this is. You wouldn't really say that this drawing has like shading or anything. Yeah, like you wouldn't necessarily think she knows anatomy from this drawing, which is amazing. But when you simplify it, when you break it down, you can see the structure. Like, let me do one of these ones. Since Ray is so good at expressions, let's do this one. So we can see she's looking this way. Let me do it. This was the head. This is the side. We go boom, boom around the eyes. Boom, 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 boom. This is the eyes. This is the nose. This is the mouth. And look, the mouth is going in perspective. You can see this is the underneath of the chin. Like, we can see that this character has different proportions from both of these characters. You can see how different the shapes are between these two. Like, he's more elongated, he's more sharper versus her. And that's what you need to be doing. Mess around with these shapes, draw them from any angle you can imagine, draw them on other art, draw them on fucking references, study what other artists are doing that you like. You can even study the things you don't like. And that's how you learn how to do it. Like, knowing this little trick of going boom will help. But it's not the end all be all. Okay? Oh wow, like, look at how much structure that is. Just because I know this a little bit. I don't even know any anatomy. This is the only thing I know how to do. This little boom, boom, boom. And look at how 3D this face looks. So yeah, you can start with references, human or art or whatever. But you can start with references. You break them down, understand the shapes, simplify with the things someone else much smarter than us already figured out, with like Lumi, Cesaro, etc., whatever you want. I like this one. And then make it look how you want it to look. We all have our tastes. I can't tell you like this is the only way to draw, but I've tried to give you some tools and some tips to help you study and to help you get better. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. Tell me how I could improve, because this is my first tutorial. Comment down. Maybe even sub. Like, I'm trying to reach 100 subs this year. But yeah, let me know what I can improve. Let me know if there's something else I can make a tutorial on that will interest you guys. And that's about it. See you in the next one. Bye!